Hello friends, this is live designer Vijay Tushar and a special welcome to all of you to the segment Mystical Abyss, which is a segment of Zindagi Ka Parcha Chai Pe Charcha Vijay ke Saath. Well, today the guest that we have is a special one because we had a chance meeting due to one of my students, a meeting that's a virtual meeting, and she's a wonderful personality. Her name is Banali Ray Shukla, and yes, she is a filmmaker, a writer, and a poet par excellence. So it's indeed a great honor, and Management Meet takes great pride in inviting Banali Ray Shukla to Zindagi Ka Parcha, Chai Pe Charcha, Viji Ke Saath. So once you realize that this is not where you want to be, what did you do?
Yeah, so one falls back on what one is wired for, right from my middle school to high school, what I did not leave is the very obscure feeling. Now it feels, now students have a much more multifaceted, I think, curriculum. But back then, one contest, creative writing contest, essay contest, short fiction. I always went for it, and somehow or the other, I made a mark, and there was no pressure on me. So that freeing power was amazing. So while I was working towards getting scores, exam में अच्छा करना, ये एक चीज थी. So I said, wait a minute, okay, I'm all of 21. This is the time to because at 21 you feel you know everything in the world. तो अच्छा ये साइंस की रिलेशनशिप नहीं हो रही है अभी आप रुक जाएं 21 22 23 were I think higher education years and what I could do is having joined the debating society again I was writing papers so the contact with writing had never gone so parallel thinking went on and this creative thinking went on and then I did a diploma which I did in production and direction and
From
the
where?
diploma was allowed at home by dad because there was campus interview allowed and the first job happened with Plus Channel here in Bombay for fiction and that's how I shifted to Bombay so ऐसा नहीं मैं पढ़ के आई हूँ मैंने even after my MSc I did this diploma and which got me a job and the rest is history.
Wonderful. So, can you share with us a little about your documentary film, which has gone to various festivals, that is Liquid Borders?
Liquid Borders was a very special film and continues to be. It's still being showing, it's traveling. And I say that I'm making friends with it and I make enemies with it because people who look at borders and how they look at it is always varying.
Right.
So Liquid Borders really was happening at a time when I began to question borders. It happened on the, I think, verge of 40 or wrong side of 40, when you start asking questions, what are borders really? Because how it happened was, I was on a holiday with my family and my, every time I go back to Calcutta, I go somewhere around in interior Bengal and I happen to go to a place called Taki. And Taki is on the bank of a river, Ichamati. It's there on my Instagram post also. Please see that. Taki and was the most interesting discovery which happened, which led me to this film. So while my parents after lunch were resting and my brother was, a friend and I, we stepped out and we went to the river and there was a boating. There was a boatman there. And we started rowing. We said, ki wahan kya hai, wahan kya hai? He said, oh, Bangladesh hai. So we were like, haha, like you just crossing a border like that. Of course, we took it seriously, but after a point, he looked very tired and everything. And he said, Didi, you can row the boat. So, BG, to tell you how important what was happening, we didn't know really, because when I was rowing, I had rowed over to the other side, itna control to tha nahi. And udhar jaake, us taraf ke bank mein boat ruk gaya. And I didn't know how to park. So we woke up Dada and he said, ki, we have reached. He said, what are you doing? This is Bangladesh. We have crossed. So what really hit us is without any intent, without any mischief, without any nuisance value, we had just gone that side. Anything could have happened. And that is actually how it first hit me about the invisibility of borders and how it's totally man-made and how it has been misconstrued and used by political forces to divide people. So, yeah.
I'm so amazed at, this happening in your life. Like, I always had this theory, you will be brought to that particular point where from where you will grow. So everything that happens in your life is for you to grow and evolve. So this incident that happened to you actually turned an entire, thought for you. And you looked at borders with a different perspective. So in the film, what are you describing in the film?
In the film, if I were to tell you the first 2 lines of the film, that film has a voiceover of a girl questioning. So it says, there are things that my mother doesn't tell me. So that's the first line. There are things when she goes silent. So as a woman, you and I understand that there are things, which are taboo. There are things which is so much about the internal border. कि आपका एक जो संयम होता है, एक restraint होता है, वो कहाँ तक restraint है और कहाँ तक बेड़ी है, that's the difference. So probably this is my exploration of understanding the difference between a limit that we must exercise and something which becomes a bond, a bondage. So the difference between bond and bondage and bonding is probably it, while it is important to have secure international borders. But, what do we share there? I hope you guys see the film someday. And it's like the same music, the same gods, the same palette, the same Bollywood, the same clothes, the same language in the East, actually everywhere, all of it. So we while we can imagine that it is going to be it, but when you're actually in those tiny villages in the border, at the border, like पहाड़ में क्या है, problems क्या है वहाँ पे, जो दिल्ली तक तो नहीं पहुँचती आवाज होगी. You need shoes. You probably need brandy to stay alive. You need shoes. You can't walk in, chappals and get away with it. So if probably, let me not name a country, another country's soldier is going to reject that boot and you take it up, it's really about survival. It's about friendship. It's about brotherhood, which हम यूनिफॉर्म में डाल के उसमें फ्लैग में उसकी बॉडी लपेट के जब भेजते हैं ना, it's beyond human rights, I think. And it's not such an easy answer. It's very complex, it's so I say at the end of the film that, I think borders are work in progress. There is no one answer, but we will ask the questions. We should not be scared to ask questions.
So, this is so in-depth. I'm sure it takes a lot of thought that goes into, giving this message to the world. And yes, it does make you think, it does make you rethink, it does make you change your perspectives about life. And also it makes you very grounded and humble, to know that we are having this existence where we do have some amount of freedom at least, where we can voice out our opinion and share our thoughts to the world. How was your experience being in Italy, when you were asked to speak about this? I saw an interview of yours and there were a lot of people speaking and you came up with a lot of answers. So brilliantly you answered it. So how was that experience being there in a different country?
Yeah, no one's asked me this actually. Yeah, so Italy was the Europe premiere. Okay? And it was at a very vintage theater, called Odeon at Florence in Italy. Okay. It's a beautiful city in Italy. And when it's a premiere, it was a world premiere actually. And you see full house. And you see people of various shade, creed, language, color coming to watch it. Italy had River to River Festival. they had done an Italian translation of it. So even if you see, my question and answer is via an Italian
Yes.
moderator.
Yes.
So what I bring back from there is the language of emotion, human and people has no border.
Definitely.
Has no border. It connected. There were people from East and West Germany sitting right there, which is dealt with out there. So he says, I am from, Madam, I can take this question. I'm from France. So France had a question. Germany had a question. There was someone from Bangladesh. There were, and it somehow, it's not like we were packaging India, but because of going back to the, it was almost like going to the little tiniest villages which normally don't get attention. So whether you say that Bollywood packages a certain kind of India, या वो saints और सांप की जो कहानियां चली आ रही हैं, so they get to see an India. They get to understand that, oh my God, this is here and now. If you are understanding, this was just the year before Brexit. Before we become, this talk should not become about politics. But the fact is that the Europe migrant crisis actually began after that. So that was a room full of people who were buzzing with questions. We ran out of time. We went to the corridor. They had to say the next screening has to start. Madam is not going anywhere. Barnali is going to be right there. Please have a chat. That's what happens. I don't think films and stories can start solving problems, but the talking point is very important to understand that, when you travel, that's what happens. You're not alone. You are not the only one facing this problem, whichever language, whichever color, it's real. And it's people. And as you know, in the Western cultures, they are, I think, they don't shy back or, like hold back from exchanging what their views are. So it was pretty revealing. And I must say the connection happened. And I had tears in my eyes at the end of it because I think I got very emotional. I was not there during the screening. I was outside.
I think it is that one of those moments where you feel, we are all one. We are all quarks of the same energy. And the concept that we have in our Indian philosophy about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, the whole world is one family. And that one particular moment, I'm sure it must have been bliss for you, where you felt that connectivity with everyone.
I felt very grateful. And whenever such moments come, I have to share this. I feel, what have I done to deserve this? I feel that everyone in the world should touch that point where everything melts. Man, woman, animal, tree. It's just pure that, like that connection out of no vested interest. That is the beauty of stories, I think. That's the beauty of stories. कि ये जो concept है वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, ये आप over one cup of coffee, you talk to an Italian and they would listen to you with bright eyes, and he could be from India, it could be from Sri Lanka, wherever. It's not just, so that's really amazing. Like Bombay, why we are such a cosmopolitan city. So आप जहाँ भी बैठ रहे हो, you hear conversations in every language, mostly Indian. So here was conversations in language across Europe. You know what I mean? So जैसे यहाँ एक कर्नाटका मिल जाएंगे और फिर कश्मीरी मिल जाएंगे, बंगाली मिल जाएंगे, तो वहाँ पे एक जर्मन है, वहाँ टर्किश है और वहाँ कोई ब्रिटिश है. So it's absolutely, and they have relations of war. I mean, wars have happened. ऐसा तो है नहीं कि history delete हो जाएगी.
Right.
But they judge you for now. They judge you for what is the idea that you want to bring forth.
Awesome.
So that was very, like you say, uniting.
Yeah, I would like more moments like this for you to share here. And let me share with you a concept about the Satori moments and the Kensho moments. So it is said that we all grow as we go on our journey in life. And sometimes the growth is through pleasure. It's like that aha moment and you get an insight. So there's a growth through insight, which is called as a Satori moment. And then we also have growth through pain. You undergo a calamity, you undergo a health crisis, and suddenly your perceptions change. So through pain, there is growth. So that is called as a Kensho moment. So can you share with us any of your Satori moments, that is growth through pleasure, or any of your Kensho moments, that is growth through pain?
So I think let's go in order of how you narrated this. So Satori moment, I would say that while I was working on borders, there was one iconic person I always had in mind, was Sita. Sita Mata.
Ram ki Sita.
And Ram, Sita. And I think Lakshman Rekha is one of the strongest borders that culturally we know of. So how can we not deal with it? So having said that, there's no film, especially non-fiction में अगर क्योंकि वो एक theme पे काम कर रहे होते हैं. So while Liquid Borders was happening, that was also the time when I was really dwelling on a subject of Sita, which I wanted to talk about her. कि आज अगर सीता होती, what would she have liked to say? Okay. Who would be cast for Sita? Who would be speaking for Sita? वो जो golden deer के पीछे कहा कि भाई मुझे वो चाहिए. उस बात को हम तक कैसे पहुंचाया गया है? There are so many versions of Ramayana. I mean I think about 118 versions of Ramayana, not just Tulsidas Ramayana, and these are all various interpretations. So I had I wasn't hallucinating, but I was having mental conversations with Sita that how would she be in 2015? How would she be on this side of the century? And in all of that, I said, film jab banegi, let me write down a poem. And I wrote down a poem. It is called The Untold Story. That is now in my book. But Untold Story, I wrote it and I looked up portals online and I said, okay, this feels like a creation that I have no pressure for. I have not gone about telling the world that I'm a trained, English literature or somebody who's like a poet already. But I quietly sent this out of a high. It's just a one page, imagining what her life would have been, the untold part of it. And that got published at Kitab in Singapore, which has focus on Asian writing. And I actually got $20 for it. And 21st poem I wrote, I got $20 for it. And the publisher was a Muslim person, Zafar Anjum. So it was Zafar sending me a publication debut, which happened there. So this was absolutely Satori. So the Satori moment thereafter happened. Sita was born out of a lot of questions and turmoil. But to work on the manuscript of a whole poetry book, when you were a filmmaker primarily, was a Satori moment. When I sat down, I said, okay, let me see what can I do. And a person who I must mention here, Anjali Purohit, and she is a senior poet and a painter. She did a lot of hand-holding while I was writing poetry. She discovered this poem on the platform of kitab.org, and she sent me an invite on Facebook saying that we have these readings, would you care to join? So I joined this poetry reading sessions absolutely from audience. And I just heard, जैसे एकलव्य ने द्रोणाचार्य को सुना होगा ना, he was not student of Drona. एकलव्य ने बाहर से सुना. So I say mine is Eklavya School of Studies. तो आपको अगर सीखना है ना, आप कहीं से भी सीख सकते हैं, मन बनाना है बस. So that's how I studied, I watched, I read, I studied, watched, read, because overnight now people are becoming filmmakers, they are becoming writers. It's not true. उसमें बहुत साधना है, उसमें बहुत मेहनत है, and it's a way of thinking. And it was not about selling. It was not anything. So I think my beginning of manuscript of Apostrophe was a huge Satori moment. I said I can do it, and let me do it. All the poems each have a different life, but yes.
So it's a collection of poems.
It's a collection of poems. There's no, it's not connected by a theme, but it's a collection of poems. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I would like to hear your comments on this particular quote. Ambition is a tricky word. While it keeps you busy, it takes you far and away from the now. So, what are your comments on this?
Yeah, it does. It does. I don't think I'm too ambitious. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to wait for Mira to tell you who I am. I would have been famous. I would have been well known. I went off Facebook at a point when I realized कि यहाँ तो मेरे 2000 दोस्त हैं. लेकिन अगर मुझे प्रॉब्लम होती है तो सिर्फ 2 लोग आते हैं और जो 2 लोग फेसबुक पे नहीं है.
सही बात है.
So I realized that मैं बहुत ज़्यादा सोशल मीडिया में इन्वॉल्व हो गई थी. So that was, I'm sorry to say, but even social media likes is a first version of ambition. कि मैं मुझे उससे बेटर होना है, उससे बेटर लगना है, उससे I must have constantly to put up something. So the moment that resume that you will see, a lot of it happened when I went away from Facebook. I spent time in the now and not planning ki kya hoga. I think it's very important to adopt a pace which is realistic, but that is me. I mean, I'm sure you'll be talking and interviewing महान हस्ती आएंगे आपके शो में, वो कुछ और बोलेंगे, पर मेरा यहाँ पे you can see that my ambition after my near death experience in 2008 was I eat well, I live well, and I live well means live healthy. I get 8 hours of sleep. I must do my walks, and my conscience is clear.
Wonderful.
I have not harmed anyone. So while in the track of, if you're just following ambition, apart from the fact that there's an anxiety, कि क्या होने वाला है, oh God, मैं ये हो गया. Already we are living in a very anxious, detached world where people are very individualistic. With the pandemic, we are going to get more individualistic. But very interesting things happen in a ruin also, that people's philanthropic side comes out. So I think I will always have a balance of doing fiction. And if we don't have the time, but if you hear the kind of topics that I'm working on for my documentaries, they give me much more support than I can give them actually.
True.
There's a story on 20 girls affected by the tsunami which came 14 years back. There is one I'm working on, a Maut Ka Kuan writer. You have seen Gurpreet's story as Once Upon a Sky, which has been traveling and connecting to people across the globe. Wonderful. So, Gurpreet, agar hero hai is film mein, uski kahani kaun keh raha hai? So, I will always speak for the one who's not speaking up for themselves. So, my ambition is really that, And I think ambition is going to be defined by what you call success.
True.
True.
So, and success is a relative term.
Yes. You said it.
So you have actually, brought this concept of self-actualization by Abraham Maslow, where he talk about hierarchy of needs. So I believe you're a very self-actualized person where you're doing your work, you're pursuing your art just for the pure joy of it. And it is not linked to any vested interest or any name, fame, etc. But the pure joy of, being in your art and taking it across fearlessly is, I think, a symbol of a self-actualized person. And I find myself to be extremely blessed to be in your company and learning so much from you. So a similar kind of experience I've had, where people keep asking me, like, you're not earning that much amount that you should be doing. You've done so many certifications, this and all. But I'm enjoying every moment of everything that I'm doing. And I think that is enough. Whether I have a cup of coffee sitting beside the window and enjoying the rain and, just sharing something with my kids or my husband and, being in that moment. It is so magical. It is so beautiful. And that is enough. And when I have such lovely people all around, being there for me whenever I need them and, giving me their blessings. I remember even when you're talking about that first thing that you said, your dad said to feed people. There was one training we had.
Nanaji, yes.
Nanaji, yeah. the kind of feeling or satisfaction that you have of, you know, offering food to somebody is immense. We had a smart PT training for around 2000 teachers from all over India. And we had a group wise, we were allocated the work of serving food. And I remember my group, I was a leader of my group, and I was serving water to people, you know. So even before they wanted, I would give it to them. And one man, he just took this and said, "Thank you, sister. This means so much for me." And I felt like, oh my God, I am so humbled to have served you. And that means a lot to you, just a single glass of water. So these are the kind of moments that define your life. I mean, this is amazing.
Absolutely. There is no meter which can rate this, you know, there's no rating.
Yeah.
There is no monetization, nothing. Yeah.
So, Banali, what is your message to the youth today?
Okay. So, I think the youth should not shy away from connecting and talking in real life to people. You know, I think they should detach from gadgets a bit and trust that we all, you and I, have lived life, and they should, I think, really come in contact with people they can entrust with. I think that flow of communication is very important.
Yes.
For that, I think they need to be open. They need to be living more beyond Wikipedia. Because आप एक word कहो वो अभी चले जाएंगे देखने Google पे, which is wonderful. I think youth for themselves, they are doing a wonderful job. India is a young country, and we are actually getting younger by the day. And possibly because I don't have children, there are a lot of people who would come under youth who are in, who I am in touch with. And they probably open up to me, because I think when we also receive youth and their crisis and their problems and their ambitions, we should not judge them from our time or varying time. We have to understand the times have changed. We have not been the best role models, perhaps. They see relationships not staying. They see money is becoming the center of success.
True.
They are probably deciding success by the size of the car and the phone. So I think we also need to tell them that, you know, what we have missed is what we are trying to do for you does not mean we are right. So the moment I think we both across generations accept that we are real human beings and we both can be wrong, I think the talking will improve. I think communication is the key, you know, communication is the key. There are no children's film today.
Right.
Casting a child in a film doesn't become children's film. Kyun? Nahi, wo bikta nahi hai, 100 crore ka nahi hai. Why is everything that way, you know? So I think we are hugely responsible for people not believing in relationships. We are, you know, they are very perfectly happy in saying that, you know, I dumped her before she dumped me. You know, ये जो ego है, ये आ रहा है, is actually the defense mechanism. They are not ready to be hurt. They are not ready to be vulnerable. And I think I'm not raising children, but I'm raising stories which are probably reaching more than 5 kids. So I think हमारे पे बहुत responsibility है, और youth is doing well. I think we should open up the forum and say that tell us your problems. You know, there should be, we should be allowed to tell stories fearlessly. You used a word 5 minutes back that Banali, you're doing this for exercising your art for people fearlessly. तो ये मैं पहले fearless नहीं थी. अभी post 2000 में थोड़ा fearless हो गई हूँ, क्योंकि you should totally consume yourself in what you're doing. So I think I miss sincerity in them. I find little insincerity in kids, which is not right, because they are hustling much more. और अभी 15 साल की उम्र से अगर hustle करने लगोगे तो फिर 50 साल तक तो I don't know what will happen, you know. Then cynicism, they know it all. We always knew it all. But I think we should make a climate in which exchange is more easy. We are judging kids too much.
Yeah, and I feel that as a counselor and psychotherapist, I have parents who bring children to me to coach them because there is going to be a separation. I really feel pained with this aspect, but I also feel that I need to be there for them. Because you know, at the age of 9 years, 10 years, 14 years, when you know that your parents are not going to be together and you want them to be together, I really feel pained with that fact. But then somehow I have to make the child understand that life can still go on, and maybe it is for the better. At least let's respect each of them as they are. Your dad may not be a good dad, a good husband, but he's a good dad to you. So respect that version. And we had a breakthrough where, you know, this guy, he was just, he is, I think 16 years old, no, 18 years old now. And he hates his father for what he did to his mother. But after the sessions, he went one day to the father and told him that I forgive you for what you have done. And I think I felt, okay, that's a time that I have served some purpose for which I was in the picture in their family. And this father calls me up the next day and says, thank you, ma'am, so much. So I feel I'm blessed to be in such a position, you know, but though I don't want to have more such cases coming in, but sadly it is coming in. And okay, we have to respect, because sometimes being in a marriage is more bad for the child than, you know, separating out. So
I'd love to learn this from you, more stories from you.
Yes. Oh,
but you kept that corridor open, right? That passage was open. You were not judging. There was no there was no nothing.
Yes.
Because it's so impressionable as a child, and I don't think our cinema is doing very modern things about this at all. We are taking these things for granted. These are not dealt with. Why are not there these things? You know,
I
pretty
also,
negative, the atmosphere.
See, the reason I quit as being the vice principal of a school was to give more time to the students who needed it. Today, children are more free speaking to me than to their parents. So I'm like a bridge between the child and the parent. I want to give them that time. You know, as a principal, vice principal, I'm supposed to punish them, but I don't believe in punishments. Just imagine there's a child who's taken a chalk and he's carved a Ganpati on that. By which chalk? Which I threw on him because he was disturbing me. I had this habit long time back. And I was so amazed. I said, wow, this is awesome. You are going to be in some creative field. And today he is the head of a creative ad agency, which he has started of his own. His name is Nachiket Premraj. It's beautiful. I mean, I could have shouted
at a point, who teaches, who changes.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think we learn so much from students.
Oh, it is awesome. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Thanks for viewing, and I'm sure you've had a good time. Like, comment, subscribe, and share as much as possible so that others too can be enlightened. We'll be happy to bring you more and more videos, and if you have any queries with regards to personal development and personal growth, do write to us at seminarbiji@gmail.com or message us on 8355 824 990. I win when you win. God bless.